Deputy Lieutenant, Leader of the Council, thank you for investing your time in attending this ceremony today. Armed Forces Day is an opportunity for all of us to express our gratitude, our admiration, and our support for the men and women who have chosen to serve in our armed forces. Right now, there are around 200,000 men and women in uniform serving and defending our country in the world. They defend British security, our prosperity, and our values. The past year has been challenging for everyone during the pandemic, and yet again, we must thank the armed forces for their contribution in supporting the fight against COVID. The Ministry of Defence has confirmed the armed forces' response to COVID-19 has become the biggest ever homeland military operation in peacetime, with more than 5,000 personnel involved. Together with the NHS, military personnel continue to roll out the COVID-19 mass vaccination programme. The armed forces are delivering the vaccine to people, with personnel also assisting with logistics and setting up of mass vaccination sites. So today, and every day, let us take the time to show our support to our service members, military families, and veterans who keep this nation strong and safe. To every soldier, sailor, airman, marine, Coast Guardman and cadet who proudly serves in the armed services in the UK, thank you for your services and the sacrifices you've made. We are proud of you. As the Mayor of Redbridge, representing our residents, I'm honoured to mark British Armed Forces Day here in the borough. I urge all members of our local communities to join us in honouring and celebrating all men and women who dedicate their lives to protecting us all. Redbridge salutes you.
Mr. Mayor, Deputy Lieutenant, Chief Executive, Leader of the Opposition, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, each year we celebrate Armed Forces Day to honour the men and women who commit their lives to protecting us and serving our country, and also their families who support them throughout their service. We take this time to consider the sacrifice many of our Army, Navy, and the Royal Air Force, servicemen and servicewomen make for this great nation. Often leaving their loved ones to go overseas and fight against tyranny and for the human rights and the democratic freedoms we take for granted in the UK. It's not an easy life that they choose, but a righteous one, an honourable one, for which we are extremely grateful. This celebration is also a tribute, not just to those who currently serve, but to all those who have gone before them, bravely fighting for the world that we live in today. Ilford has a proud history of service to this nation. We have lost many of our sons and daughters to conflict. From the 1,159 men whose names are etched on the First World War Memorial in Newbury Park, to the many veteran families who mourn children, parents, husbands, wives, lost to conflicts across the world. The world we live in today, the freedoms we cherish, the very values of equality and liberty are built upon the sacrifices made by those who came before us, those who gave their lives in Europe, in Northern Africa, and across the world so that we might be safe and prosperous. We can never repay our debt to our service people, but we can remember them. We can honor them. And today we pay tribute to them and their great sacrifice, the ultimate sacrifice made by some. Armed Forces Day is about looking forward, appreciating our servicemen, our servicewomen, and also reflecting on those we have lost. The diversity, inclusivity, and vibrancy of Ilford today is thanks to their bravery, and for that, I sincerely thank them personally and on behalf of this great borough. In 2013, Redbridge signed the Armed Forces Covenant, pledging to support servicemen, servicewomen, and their families, and now and for generations to come. Today, we will build upon that promise and pledge to appoint an Armed Forces champion who will chair an Armed Forces Covenant Forum dedicated to establishing practices, protocols, and events supporting the local armed forces community. In Redbridge, we are proud of our armed forces, their commitment, their dedication, and their service to our borough, our country, and to our global community. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, Leader, ladies and gentlemen, Armed Forces Day is providing us with the unique opportunity to demonstrate our continuing support for the men and women who make up the armed services community in the UK, which include serving troops of the different services, service families, veterans, and cadets. To have a day specially reserved to remember the contributions of the armed services, both at home and abroad, will certainly provide a much valued morale boost for everyone involved in and with the service. It is a day for us to remember the vital role that our armed services play in defending our nation and its interests, often in inhospitable environments around the world. We must be thankful to the armed services for their crucial role in promoting peace and security, delivering aid, tackling drug smugglers, and fighting terrorism globally with the ultimate goal of delivering security and well-being to our nation as a whole. Whilst we are honoring those who serve to defend our democratic freedoms and ways of life, we must also unite ourselves across faiths, cultures, and backgrounds to remember the services and sacrifices of the armed forces from the Commonwealth.